Can I ask you something? When was the first time you started believing that maybe you are not enough? Think about it. Nobody is born feeling unworthy. No child looks into the mirror and says, I am not smart enough, I am not beautiful enough, I am not lovable, I am not good enough. Somewhere, someone, or something made us believe that. Maybe it was a teacher, maybe your parents, maybe a relationship, maybe years of comparison, maybe social media, or maybe it wasn't one big moment at all. Maybe it was hundreds of tiny moments that slowly convinced you that your worth had to be earned. And today, years later, every time life doesn't go your way, your mind quietly whispers, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. The scary part is we don't even question that voice anymore. We just believe it. But what if that voice isn't telling you the truth? What if you have spent years trying to fix yourself when you were never broken in the first place? And what if the real problem isn't your worth? It's a story your brain has been repeating for years. And that's exactly what we are going to talk about in today's video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Jo, and in this channel we understand our mind through psychology, neuroscience and simple everyday examples so that we can create real, lasting changes in our lives. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you are subscribed. Now let's get into today's video. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever noticed that two people can go through the exact same situation and come out with completely different beliefs about themselves? One person says, okay, this hurts, but I will figure something out. The other person says, I knew it, I'm just not good enough. Same event, two completely different conclusions. Why? Because life doesn't just affect us through what happens, it affects us through the meaning we give to what happens. And somewhere along the way, most of us started carrying an invisible scorecard. Every rejection, -1. Every breakup, -1. Every mistake, -1. Every criticism, -1. Slowly, without even realizing it, our worth became connected to our performances, to our achievements, to whether people chooses us, to whether people approve of us. And that's exhausting. If your self-worth depends on everything going right, you'll spend your entire life feeling that you're one failure away from believing you're not enough. And I think that's how many of us are living. Not because we are actually not enough, but because we have been measuring ourselves using the wrong scales. Have you ever seen Nike launch a shoe that people didn't like? Of course, right? Every company has products that fail, campaigns that get criticized, collections that don't sell. But have you ever seen Nike come out the next day and say, people didn't like this shoe, maybe we are not a good company anymore? No, right? They don't question who they are. They look at what happened, they learn from it, they improve, and then they build something better. Nike improves its products, it never questions its identity. Now think about us. One breakup, I am not lovable. One interview rejection, I am not capable. One failed business, I am not meant for success. One person doesn't choose us, and suddenly we don't question the situation, we question ourselves. Isn't that strange? We understand that one product doesn't define Nike, but one bad chapter becomes the definition of who we are. The biggest mistake we make isn't failing. The biggest mistake we make is believing that our failures describe us. We start confusing what happened to us with who we are. Those two things are completely different. We should improve our skills, we should improve our habits, we should improve our behavior, not constantly question our worth. So let's understand, why does our brain do this? The answer starts much earlier than we think. Let me tell you something. I don't think any of us wake up at the age of 25 or 30 and suddenly decide, I am not enough. I think the story starts much earlier. Imagine a 5-year-old child. She spends an hour making a drawing. She's so excited. She runs to her parents and says, look what I made. Now maybe the parent had a stressful day. They are tired, busy, distracted. Without even looking, they say, not now. Think about this little child for a second. Does she understand that her parents had a difficult day at work? No, right? A 5-year-old brain doesn't understand stress. It doesn't understand deadlines. It doesn't understand adult problems. It only understands one thing. Maybe what I made wasn't important. Maybe I am not important. Was the parent trying to hurt the child? Probably not. But the brain isn't listening to intentions. The brain is collecting evidences, proofs. And that's how beliefs are born. Not from one traumatic event, but from hundreds of tiny moments that slowly teaches us who we think we are. Maybe it was comparison, maybe it was criticism. Maybe appreciation only came when you scored good marks. Maybe you only felt love when you made everyone else happy. And slowly, your brain started creating rules. If I perform, I'll be loved. If I make everyone happy, I'll be accepted. And then maybe I'll finally be enough. The problem is, those rules helped us survive as children, but we continue living by them even as adults. And here's the fascinating part, your brain doesn't know that you are not a 5-year-old anymore. Those rules may have helped you survive your childhood, but these quietly became the rules we started living by as adults as well. Let's understand, why does this happen? Why does one criticism stay with us for years while 10 compliments disappear in a day? The answer lies in the way our brain is designed. Your brain has one primary job: to keep you safe. Not to make you successful, not to make you rich, not to even make you happy. Its first priority is survival. And one of the ways it keeps you safe is by predicting tomorrow, using yesterday. Imagine you are walking through a park. The first person walks through the grass, nothing happens. Another person walks on the same path, then another, and then another. Hundreds of people walked across the same path, a clear walking trail appears. Your brain works exactly the same way. Every time you think, I am not enough, people always leave, I am not capable, your brain walks the same pathway. Again, and again. Eventually, the path becomes the easiest one to take. Your brain doesn't care whether a thought is true or not. It cares whether it's repeated. That's why one criticism stays with you for years while 10 compliments disappear in a day. Not because criticism is more accurate, but because your brain has walked that path multiple times. Your brain has repeated that thought multiple times. And your brain is very lazy as an organ. It doesn't like to work at all. So every time you keep giving them the same thought, it automatically processes that more. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. It sounds like a complicated word, I know, but it simply means your brain changes based on what you repetitively experience. The more you repeat a thought in your brain, the stronger the pathway becomes. The more you practice a behavior, the more automatic it feels. And here's the part I love. If your brain learned self-doubt, it can also learn self-belief. If it learned fear, it can also learn courage. If it learned to constantly criticize you, it can also learn to support you. Because your brain has never finished learning, and that's why change is possible. Not because you force yourself to think positive, but because you slowly give your brain new experiences, new evidence, and new stories to believe. And that brings us to something really important. Want our brain to believe we are capable? We first have to become someone who keep their words to themselves. I know this because I have lived it for years. Every rejection felt personal. If something didn't work out, I immediately thought something is wrong with me. Whether it was relationship, career, setbacks, or comparing myself to anyone around me, I genuinely believed that I had to become more before I deserved the life I wanted. Looking back, I just wasn't chasing success, I was chasing worth. And that's a very different thing. The brain has been believing this story for years. How do we change it? Most people think the answer is confidence. I just need to become more confident. Others think I need to start loving myself more. I don't think either of them come first. I think the first step is rebuilding the trust with yourself. Think about it. Imagine you have a friend and every single day they promise they'll meet you. And every single day they cancel. I'll come tomorrow. Sorry, something came up. Again and again and again. After a few weeks, would you trust that person? Probably not. Now here's the uncomfortable question. How many promises have you broken to yourself? This Monday I'll start working out. I'll finally apply to this job. I'll stop texting to that person who disrespects me. I'll wake up early. I'll take care of my health. Many Mondays have come and gone. and then we wonder, why don't I believe in myself? Maybe your brain isn't against you. Maybe your brain is simply saying, you have shown me this pattern before. Every time you break a promise to yourself, your brain collects another piece of evidence. This person doesn't follow through. And over time, that affects the way you see yourself. That's why I believe self-worth grows stronger when self-trust grows stronger. Every promise you keep isn't just building a habit, it's rebuilding your relationship with yourself. If you do something and keep a promise, brain collects the evidence. If you make a promise to yourself and you don't do that, brain collects the evidence for that as well. You are listening to this and thinking, okay, I've spent years believing I'm not enough. Maybe it's too late. I want you to remember something. Your brain is not a stone, it's more like a clay. It keeps changing based on what you repetitively experience. That's why scientists use the word neuroplasticity. It sounds complicated, but the idea is very, very simple. The brain strengthens whatever it experiences repetitively. If you have spent years repeating, I am not enough, the pathway became stronger. But here's the good news. The opposite is also true. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your brain notices. Every time you respect your boundaries, your brain notices as well. Every time you choose courage instead of fear, your brain notices. Every time you speak to yourself with kindness instead of criticism, your brain notices. Little by little, your brain starts collecting new evidences. Evidences that says, maybe I can trust myself. Maybe I am capable. Maybe I deserve better. One day, those thoughts stop feeling forced. They start feeling natural. Because you repeated one affirmation, not because you watched one motivational video, because your brain believes what you constantly show it through your actions. That's how change happens. Slowly, quietly. So let's understand, what can we do now? So if you have been carrying this story for years, how do you change it? Not overnight, not by pretending everything is okay, but by giving your brain new evidences. Here's what I want you to start doing. Number 1, every night before you sleep, don't ask yourself, what did I achieve today? Ask yourself, how did I respect myself today? Maybe you said no to something that drained you. Maybe you went for a walk. Maybe you finally sent that email. Maybe you rested when your body needed it. Maybe you spoke kindly to yourself instead of criticizing yourself. Because every act of self-respect is evidence, and your brain learns from evidences, not from empty words. Number 2, the next time something doesn't go your way, I want you to catch yourself. Instead of asking what's wrong with me, ask what is this experience trying to teach me? Can you see the difference? One question attacks your identity, the other builds your wisdom. One keeps you stuck, the other helps you grow. Number 3, make one small promise to yourself every single day. Not 10 promises, just one. It could be a 10-minute walk, reading 5 pages of a book, drinking enough water, meditating for 5 minutes, applying for that one job, calling your parents, whatever it is. Keep that promise. Because every time you keep your word, you are telling your brain, I can trust myself. And over time, that's how confidence grows. Not because someone else believed in you, but because you started believing in your own actions. Before we end this video, I want you to do one small exercise with me. Think about someone you love deeply. Maybe your mother, maybe your father, maybe your best friend, husband, maybe your wife, or maybe your own child. Now imagine they came to you after failing an interview and said, I think I'm worthless. Would you agree with them? Or would you remind them that one failure doesn't define who they are? Then why do you speak to yourself in a way you would never speak to someone you love? You know, I don't think anyone watching this video needs to become a different person. I think most of us just need to stop talking to ourselves like we are someone we don't love. And if you enjoyed this video where we understand our minds through psychology, neuroscience and simple everyday examples, I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.